Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today is going to be a little different video. I'm going to be showing how I built the base to the shed that I bought. So the shed that I got is a 8x6 foot, and it is a metal shed. I know that's not typically the preference. You want a wood shed. Some like the plastic sheds. I'm not a big fan of them, but this is going to be a temporary location for us until we move, so I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so this fits our needs. It was less than $300 and I got it at Lowe's, but you can also get it on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. It just so happened that Lowe's was having a sale. The base materials that I used were 2x6 treated wood boards for the floor rim joists and floor joists. For the deck blocks, I used the Tuff Block pier supports, which are kind of new and kind of a new spin on how to support low-profile decks, really. And these things are pretty cool. They're not the cheapest, but they do support really well. So they're some kind of ABS plastic, I think. They're very thick, very sturdy. They can hold, I think, 1,500 or 1,600 pounds each. But they're very light. They're plastic. You can stack them up and haul, 10 or 15 of them at a time and move them around at ease. And that was the main thing for me was I'm getting older and I just don't want to lug all those cement blocks around. However, if you want to use a cheaper method, the cement block is certainly cheaper. And use 4x4 posts with them to build on a slope. So they're very versatile, and I just thought they were pretty cool. For the base deck, I used 5/4 inch or 5/4 pressure treated deck boards. And I came to that conclusion because when I started looking at CDX plywood, the price was unreal. So I started looking at my options, and when I looked at these 5/4 inch deck boards, they were on sale, and I think they were $7 a piece, and I needed 14 of them to do my base, so that's what I went with. As far as the location of the shed in my yard, I just really picked the flattest part. I didn't want to deal with a slope if I didn't have to. Even though this area that I did pick had a slight slope, I knew I could just grade the dirt that was there and build up one side a little bit to even it out. And I wouldn't have to use the 4x4 posts to do anything. I also didn't have to deal with any sprinkler heads. And there was no grass in this area either because there wasn't any sun because of the tree coverage, canopy coverage. The first thing I did was just get a tarp and lay all my supplies out there. And, I had my deck boards, I had my rim joists and floor joists, gravel, and the Tuff Blocks, of course. The first thing I did was just lay out the rim joists in the shape that I was going to do. Now, my shed is 8x6, but if you look at your directions, you'll see that on especially the metal sheds, the actual size is probably a little bit smaller. So yours could vary, but on mine, if you just go out and build an 8x6 floor, it won't be exact. It'll probably be a little big. I wanted mine a little big because I want to have some room behind it. So I laid out the floor joists, rim joists really, into the shape and make sure I got the right position in the area where I was putting the deck. So I just laid them down at first, and you can use those deck blocks just to hold them up while you're putting them together. And once I got the position in there, screwed them together with some stainless steel screws, 3 on each end, and then I checked for square and adjusted it as needed. Once I got that set and I knew where the shed was going to be based, I started looking at where my joists were going to be. So typically I was going to go with 16-inch on center, which is standard. But I realized with the Tuff Blocks, because the base of the Tuff Block is 11.5 inches basically square, I didn't want the Tuff Block to be seen once you got it all built. So I didn't want it on the rim joists. I wanted to recess those into the interior of the foundation so that they would not be seen. So I adjusted my I just went ahead, moved the actual rim joists that I put together, just tilted it up basically and laid it against the fence, and then dug a trench where those Tuff Blocks were going to be. Because instead of digging and trying to level each individual area where the Tuff Block is going to be, I just created a little trench, and I got through it much quicker. Backfill that, pack it down. You have to tamp it down really good, and then set your Tuff Block on there, put your joist in, and start leveling front to back. Once you get one joist done, you can start the next one, but then you're going to be leveling from front to back and left to right. So it was just a simple process of doing that down the line. And take some time. This is very important, so do take your time. If you don't have a level base, it's going to mess you up when you start building your shed. After that was done, I just fastened all the floor joists to the rim joists using stainless steel screws again. I think they were 3-inch stainless steel screws. Then I added some blocking to give it some rigidity and support those floor joists. And you can see here at the end where I have the blocking in, and I think it turned out really well. I don't think there's going to be any problem with the floor. It's not going to go anywhere. And when the floor was all done, it was quite sturdy. So I was pleased with the final outcome. Just take your time when you're leveling and squaring. Once I got all that done, I just took my 8-foot 5/4 deck boards and laid them down, and they, mine fit exactly across because I used an 8-foot measurement on my rim joists. So it was end to end, and I just started on one end and put regular decking screws flat faced through them. I didn't do the angled hidden screw thing. It just wasn't necessary for the shed, I didn't think. But one thing you need to be sure of is if you're going to use 8-foot boards on an 8-foot foundation like I did, you need to pre-drill those holes on the end because they will split. And it is probably better to get 10-foot boards so that you can cut them down to size however big you want it. I just wanted to save some money, so I didn't do that. But it's probably better to do that. I didn't. So just laid these boards down edge to edge, and some of them were a little warped. So I used a bar clamp to straighten those out and get them snug up against the adjacent board when I put them down, and then just screwed them in and just did that all the way down. And they fit perfect. It was a good, a little overhang on the front, a little overhang on the back. The sides are a little tight. I did not even rip the side down with a circular saw. I just left it the way it was. All the edges are treated, and I was satisfied with that. If you want to, like I said, if you had done the 10-foot board, you could rip it down and do whatever you wanted to it. So I think it turned out pretty good. I appreciate everybody watching. So leave comments down in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe if you will, please. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.